Cancorla, over the weekend, two more young men were shot dead, one in Ronanstown and one in Newcastle. And that brings now to 150 the number of gun murders which have occurred in the state since Taoiseach, you took office in 1997. And the Gardaí are expressing concern that the gun murders over the weekend could lead to a further spate of killings. We've had 150 gun murders so far since you took office, Taoiseach. Now, before you took office in 1997, you said at the Fianna Fáil Ard Fheis in April 1997, you said, "I will make the fight against crime my first priority in a new Fianna Fáil government." And you went on to say that you had a message for the drug barons and for the criminal gangs. You said, "Our plan is to arrest you, prosecute you and put you in jail." So, Taoiseach, my question is this. Of the 150 gun murders that have occurred in the state since you became Taoiseach, how many convictions have been secured? Cancorla, I think with respect, I think the Taoiseach went way over time there, avoiding answering the question. He says he doesn't have the figure for the number of convictions, which I find amazing, given that the Taoiseach has a figure for every possible question that might be asked here on leaders' questions. My simple question was, of the 150 gun murders that have taken place in the state since the Taoiseach took office, how many convictions have been obtained? Now, to help the Taoiseach, I've done a tot on it myself, and I've come to 24 out of 150. It's about 1 in 6. Is that correct, Taoiseach? Is it true? Can you admit here this morning to the Irish people that of the 150 savage gun murders that have occurred in this country since you became Taoiseach, only 1 in 6 has been caught and put away out of society? Now, I accept that there are difficulties, some of which the Taoiseach alluded to, difficulties of people not talking, people being afraid to give evidence, which is why the Labour Party proposed 2 legislative measures that we've been asking the government to implement now since the Dáil resumed last September. And they are the witness protection legislation and the Garda surveillance bill, to give the Gardaí the additional powers of surveillance that they need in order to put these gangs away, and secondly, to introduce witness protection legislation which will provide protection for those people who give evidence against those criminal gangs. So, Taoiseach, first of all, can you at least do the House and I think the people of the country a service by admitting that there has only been 1 in 6 convictions, 24 out of 150? And secondly, will you now take on board the measures that the Labour Party is proposing to deal with this problem? Because we can't go on having a situation that these murders are taking place week in, week out. There's barely a weekend now that we don't have one of these gangland, gun-related, drug-related killings taking place. And it can't continue. And there is a need to deal with it. And I'm asking you to deal with it. And I'm asking you to take on board the proposals that the Labour Party has made to deal with it. And I'm asking you to acknowledge, to at least acknowledge, because you're a man who's, as I said, a figure for every answer, at least acknowledge that the number of convictions is only 24 out of 150.